All right, welcome into the first episode of A&J Soccer Show. My name is Andrew Pipers, and I'm here with my friend Jalen Thompson. We have an awesome show ahead today. We're going to talk a little bit about the U.S. men's national team not making the World Cup, but first we're going to get into this weekend's rout from Man City over Stoke City. So first thing that comes to my mind was Kevin De Bruyne, absolute baller.
What a guy, what a guy.
What a guy.
I mean, it's like almost every goal the guy was involved in.
I know.
Picking out passes you can't even see when you're watching the game, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean I think he made the Ballon d'Or short list, rightfully so.
Right.
He's really, since he left Chelsea, he's really just gone on an upward trajectory, and I'm happy he's at City. So
Yeah, it's funny because I saw this piece about Frank Lampard talking about how it's hard for Chelsea to say that they let him go because he just scored against Chelsea just the other week, and they're talking about how they used to have him, but he says he just wasn't world class back then, and De Bruyne's really showed him what they're missing nowadays.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But although he didn't score in the game this weekend, he was without him, he just makes everything tick. David Silva, before we had De Bruyne, he was the magician. He still is the magician, but you just got to give it up for De Bruyne. But what do you think of Sane? That guy's good. That guy's fast.
I mean, the blistering pace of the guy, he's just always a threat in behind and getting crosses. I mean, I think in the first 5 minutes of the game, him and De Bruyne actually linked up. He shot it over the bar with his weak foot. But,
right.
I mean, it's like as soon as the whistle blows, the defense has always got to keep an eye on him.
I would hate to play against him. I would hate to play against a guy that fast. But in City, it's just talent everywhere. You could probably make 2 starting lineups with their roster that would be competitive in the Premier League. It's absurd.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference since this year and last year is the defenders that Pep's brought in, specifically our outside backs with Mendy and Walker in comparison to Kolarov and Sane.
Right.
It's just like it's a revival. It's like a new energy brought in by those outside backs because you see on the first goal when Walker times his run perfectly, De Bruyne slips him in, and he just waits. He's so composed on the ball and finds Jesus' feet for the goal. It's just, Colorado could do that, but it's a new electricity among the team.
Yeah,
The guys.
I definitely agree with that, and I got to give it up to Fabian Delph. I didn't have a lot of faith in him, but he slotted in at left back and put in a good performance, 2 good performances now. So Mendy's out until April, so hopefully Fabian can kind of keep things good there.
Yeah, I think Pep's been he's been looking at some replacements for Mendy. I think we're looking to pick somebody up in the transfer window once January comes. So it should be interesting. I think they're looking at 2 Spanish left backs from the League BBVA, but should be very interesting on who he decides to put in that important slot because they got to be good at attacking, that's for sure. That's the way Pep's system works. The outside backs are not just defenders; they're biggest attackers as well.
And it's really interesting to look at the contrast between 2 of the best in the Premier League, Guardiola and Mourinho. Mourinho goes to Anfield very content with sitting there and getting the points. People predicted that Guardiola is all about attacking and scoring goals. He's going to be annoyed that we let in the 2, but 7 goals, you can't really complain.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you watch City play this year, and it's just every game's exciting to watch. It's nothing of a dull game, even if it's a low score. That they're playing this beautiful soccer that you can't really find anywhere else. But it's reminded me of the days when Pep used to be at Barcelona with Messi and Ibra and the likes of those. So it's very exciting to see in the Premier League.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm excited for the Champions League. I want to see what we can do against the real big boys of Europe. So we'll have to see. We can try that. It's awesome because it's